Boom! What's going on, everyone? Super excited for today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am excited for this. I am so pumped for today's training. Okay, we are on the last day of week 1. Welcome. You made it. You made it. Okay, hopefully today you guys have the opportunity to go in and actually create the actual offer. Okay, and that is what Russell went through, and he's teaching you the training. This is all about actually creating the actual offer now at this point. And what's fun about this, I just want to start with a little story. Is that okay? Is it right if I over deliver? Is that cool? Is that cool? Is it okay if we over deliver? Okay, here we go. All right. Hey, in college, there was a guy who I learned this from. Okay, he taught me some incredible stuff. Okay, we would go in, and there was this semester in college where we did nothing but actually just run a business from the beginning. Okay, we actually had to start a business from scratch. They gave us no help. There was nothing, and it was one of the greatest learning environments I've ever had in my entire life. And it's very similar to what you are going through right now. Okay, we had to start a business from scratch. So there was very little help. We just had to do it. And the objective was to make as much money, actual money, as we physically could in that semester. And that was it. And during some of the beginning days, they wanted to teach us, like I was saying before, how to brainstorm. They wanted to teach us how to create products. They wanted to teach us how to think through and kind of ideate these different product ideas. And so what we had to go do is this one day we sat down, and there was nothing but construction paper and scissors and popsicle sticks and Elmer's glue. I mean, I felt like I was in kindergarten. Okay, and we walked on in, and it was a really cool place to do this kind of stuff and do this kind of college experience. And what was cool about this part is we had to sit down, and we had to take our ideas, and we had to build them out of construction paper and glue and popsicle sticks and cotton balls and crayons and like crap like that. Okay. And what was interesting is we went through, and I was like, this is a little weird. This is a little bit weird. And what was cool is that we had to go through it. We had to create it all, and in some kind of representation of it. So if it was something that was digital, we would have to draw out what the page was going to look like, or what the ebook was going to look like, and the actual cover, and literally make a physical representation of the thing. And then what we had to go do was we had to go find people who represented our target market, and we physically took this little prototype, and we walked out to them, and we handed the prototype to these other people. Okay. And here was the rule. We were not allowed to look at the product. Okay. We were allowed only to look at the eyes of the person we were handing the product to. Okay. And we handed the product off to the individual, and we had to look right at their eyes, not at the product. And what we were looking for was this. Okay. We're looking for this. We're handing off the product to them, and we're looking at it, and we hand it off, and we look at their eyes. And what we want us to look, this is what we're looking for. Right? Like, or right? Any kind of reaction. Okay. It doesn't matter what kind of reaction. We were looking for a reaction. What was their reaction to it? The first time they ever saw the product, what did they see? What did they not see? What was it that got them excited? And every time they had a reaction, I didn't care what it was. I just needed to know what it was. Okay. And they would go, or like, oh, cool. Or like, what is this? Right. Or, right. And what was interesting about that is that we would just like pepper them on questions with this. Be like, hey, why did you react that way? And they'd be like, what do you mean? Like, well, you made like a little bit of a face, and that's fine. We just want to know. We're just testing this product on different places. And so they'd start looking at it, and they'd hold it, and they'd touch it, and they'd be like, oh, interesting. Well, I really like this part of it. And be like, cool. I really like this part of it. What is this though? Oh, they had a question about that. It doesn't matter even what it is. They didn't understand this piece of it. Okay, cool. All right. We'd write that down. I don't like this part of it. Okay. We write that down. And literally what we would go do is we would take the feedback from that product interaction that we had, and we would go back to our freaking cardboard paper, man. We had cardboard, our construction paper, popsicle sticks, and glue, and we would remake the thing. Okay. We'd turn back around, and we would hand it back again to a different person who was inside of our target market, and we would watch them. And this product that we created, we would just do this over and over and over and over and over and over. It literally, the iterations were crazy, over and over and over and over and over. And literally what was funny is as we got good at this, and we'd go on out and we'd say, hey, check this out. Here's the thing. What was interesting is that the market literally started creating for us the thing they wanted us to sell back to them. Okay. Huge key right there. Massive key right there. That is a boom key right there. Okay. Okay. When you think about how huge that is, it means that you do not need to have the creative genius in you. Like, you don't have to have this creative bug to actually make stuff that's cool that people actually want. Okay. You don't. And which is the fun part about that. And this, especially when you combine things in with like ClickFunnels and the training you're getting in this kind of stuff, guys, you're unstoppable. But I need you to understand that when you go create this product, there's a few things I got to hit here. Okay. Number one, do not fall in love with your product. It is broken. It is always broken. It will always be broken. If you try and build that product to perfection, you will never launch it, and you will build it from your own perceptions. You're not the one buying the product. Your opinion doesn't matter, right? And that's the issue that I see when people go out and they're like, well, I can't launch because I don't have my product built yet. I don't have my product. It's not made yet. And I'm like, you're too in love with what you're doing, okay? Meaning, your pride seems to be, your actual self-worth for some reason seems to be tied to this product you're creating. You guys got to separate that, okay? Separate that, okay? Your pride should be tied to the amount of money it brings in, okay? So the faster you can get that product out the door, the best, because what you're starting to look for is market feedback. And then you go back, iterate, adjust, and you go and you iterate again, adjust, iterate again, adjust. And it's this game. Back and forth. How good is my offer? Oh man, okay. It was really good at the beginning, super good at the beginning, but like as time has progressed, the offer itself has changed based on market feedback. When I look at some of the webinars I'm running right now, like one of them that went out in January, I took a screenshot of the offer of what it was in January, and I compared it to what it is now. It's totally different. Okay. I'm actually adjusting based on what people have been saying. And because of that, it's sold more and more, and people got more excited. And funny enough, there's been more and more results as I've adjusted. If I've stayed too much in my own head and gotten married to the actual product, then it doesn't, the success rate goes down. It doesn't sell as well, but it was perfect. That makes sense? There's a huge fallacy with this, huge fallacy. And so I want you to understand, like, a few things here. You cannot fall in love with your product. You cannot fall in love with what it is that you're doing, okay? It is always broken. It's always not complete, and it should be that way. And if it's not, you've probably waited so long to launch the thing, okay? Someone says, the problem is that I have no customers. I don't care. People weren't buying my freaking popsicle stick thing either, right? Who is it who would buy it? Go talk to that person, and you start getting their feedback. And you go to them and you get their information, you get their feedback, you get their critiques, and you go and you take them and you go back and you adjust and you go and you adjust. My favorite way to do this is by actually sending traffic to a funnel and seeing if they buy. I'd rather have them vote with their mouth, with their wallets and not their mouths. So did they buy? Okay, cool. If they didn't buy, like, how can I follow up? One of my favorite stories is from Trey Llewellyn when he was launching, I think, his flashlight funnel. And if you don't know, that funnel made a lot of money. And we're talking millions of dollars in just a couple months. And I made a lot of money. And some of the reasons why it made so much money is because what he would do is he would see people who came in, who started filling out the information, and then they didn't buy, right? There was like a little piece of software he was using to just see what, and I was like, what? And he would go and call the person. Why didn't you buy? And they'd be like, well, it's because I was going out and I was thinking how cool this would be if I also got a second one from my friend, and I just wanted to see if he wanted it because I was just going to buy it for him right there. And he was like, what? What if I had the option for people to buy two on the site, one or two? Huh. So then he went and he added in the option to buy a second. They could radio button. All right, you can buy one or you can buy two. And then he started sending more traffic. And then he would see all these people come on in, and some people would buy, and he'd follow up with them. Okay, why did you buy? I'm glad that you did, but why? What made you? And then he would go and take that and he'd put that back in the funnel and adjust the actual products. And then he would go back and he would see someone who didn't buy, right? Or someone who came and bought and then refunded. He wanted it. So the knee-jerk reaction you will have is to get emotional over those experiences. Meaning, you'll call them and the phone call will be like this. Why did you refund, you idiot? Do you not know how amazing this was, right? And you'll get emotional about it. And don't do that, okay? Instead, what you're doing, I've done it before. I've totally done that. Instead, what you got to go do, right, is separate your emotions from this and be like, okay, the market voted. Look at it that way. The market voted, and it voted no. Okay, let me just ask why. My value, my personal value, my self-worth is not tied to that. Okay, I'm just pointing that out, okay? Okay, I'm going in and I'm going to call and say, hey, why did you buy? Why did you not buy? Why did you like that? Why did you refund? How come you came in and you bought it, And then why did you tell somebody else? What made you so excited to tell somebody else? And when you get to be a good detective, the game gets a lot easier and it gets more fun and the success rate goes up and your wallet gets fatter. Okay. That's why this is a fun game. But the biggest hurdle I run into people who are brand new at this is that they just don't understand that. And so they think like they are their product or that has to be perfect on launch. But that's not true at all. And anyway, like this is not like, how many of you guys went to college or school, or I was terrible at high school. I got straight D's, except I think for in like choir. I got Mercy graduated from high school, I think. And then I was so bad at college that I got kicked out my first semester. I had to wait 4 years to reapply to get back in. I learned how to learn. It was that bad. And then I came back in, I learned how to learn and got almost straight A's the whole way through, which is awesome. Okay. But what's interesting is like, this is not like freaking school. You understand? You don't need an A in your product creation to get money. You can get an F and still have a great lifestyle. Okay. It has nothing to do with that. You got to get that scale out of your head. Get the scale out of your head of perfection, of what it looks like. Don't use the same scale, right, to judge whether or not your product is ready for the marketplace, because that's not how it works at all. You can get an F and make a lot of money. Okay. It doesn't need to be perfect, right? The question is, does it sell? Okay. And the question is, does it fulfill on the sale, right? Does it fulfill? You got to switch that in your head because it's not the same thing at all. So what's cool about this, so this is all about creating, right? And I want you to understand that it's about product iteration. Iterate. And the faster you can get out of your own way to get those iterations coming quickly and adjust, the better off you're going to be. And the faster you actually have success with this stuff. Okay. So does that make sense so far? That's the first point I knew I needed to make with this stuff. Okay. And it was super cool to go through. If you could, man, if you need to make it with freaking construction paper and all that, you can. But what we recommend you do is what this lesson is. Go actually create the thing. And remember, we're creating things. This leads me to my second point. Okay. So first point on there, right? It should not be perfect, and it's not going to be, and don't wait for it to be, right? Separate that part and move on. Second point though. Okay. A lot of times I don't go actually make the actual offer until I have money in my pocket, but that does depend on the type of products I'm making. Okay. Next week and the week after, the kind of funnel we're making with you guys is what's called an SLO funnel. It is a front end funnel. It is a front end, meaning it's low ticket. It gets people in the doors. It gets people in the door to buy low ticket things, which is awesome. In that kind of scenario, right? In like Russell's book funnel or this kind of funnel. This book was written before we started selling it, right? And that makes sense, right? Yeah, I'm not going to go sell it and then write the book. That's a lot of freaking work, okay? If I'm doing something that's a little more high ticket though, I always sell it and then make it afterwards. In this scenario though, we want you guys to know and understand that in this scenario, it's best to obviously have those things made, which is why we're having you create those products now, right? We're talking $27 thing, maybe a $50 upsell, right? Maybe something after that, and then boom, like that's done. You can make those products. And what's cool about it is you don't even have to be the one making them. And that's why we're trying to get to you guys and help you understand the last few days as well. Go use the funnel Rolodex, go use freelancer.com, go use Fiverr, go use, right? And go figure out what the products are that need to be done. The first major product that I created, I actually didn't make a lot of it. I'd be going to class, or I'd be going to my job, or I'd be going to, and what was cool is I hired VAs that were getting things done for me while I was doing my day-to-day stuff. And it was cool because I was like, oh man, this asset is getting created, and that can take a little time, right? This is the end of week 1. We need you to start making them now so that you can plug it into the funnel we're going to be building with you guys here shortly, and just a week or two here. So that's the reason we're having you guys create those things now. You guys getting this? So depending on the value ladder step that you're on, and this might be a concept that's a little bit further down the road, okay? But depending on the value ladder step that you're on, that kind of determines how much of the product needs to be created before you start selling, right? Right. All right, cool. Questions? You guys good? You guys excited? What I would go do is list out your offer. Now that we've had you guys do that, and we used all sorts of crazy examples, the easiest way to go about this, go list out each of the things in your offer, and then choose. I would literally order them like 1 to 5, right? 1 being, okay, this is the hardest one that needs to be, right? This is the product that is priority number 1. Right? An ebook cover, man, someone can make that for you in like 24 to 48 hours. You know, right? That's really not something that's hard. It's good. You need to have it. You should have those. Okay. but like, let's say you're making a PDF about blank, or a little bit of research should be done about this or whatever. Start ranking those things out, right, in the order of amount of time it takes to actually create it, and start getting, whether it's someone from Funnel Rolodex, or it's best if it's not yourself, especially when it's a low ticket stuff like this. But if it needs to be, whatever, like, you guys will be your own judge on that. I'm not going to make a blanket statement, hard, fast rule on that, but start listing out and start making those products and start putting those together. Next week, what we're going to do is we're going to start tying in, how do you sell the individual products in the offer, right? How do you tie a sales message to those individual products? How do you actually match those things together? Super awesome. Super awesome. All righty. What if my offer is a course? Yeah, if your offer is a course, maybe you'll be selling that and then going and making parts of it afterward. If you're, does that make sense? What I would do is at least you got to understand what I'm trying to get with you guys at this. And what I'm trying to help you guys understand with this is that your offer right now is so hardcore rough draft. It's crazy. Don't fall in love with it. So you're creating the offer, you're outlining the offer, you're outlining all the things in there. And then there are certain parts of it that you should probably need, you got to go start creating now, right? To prep for when we put them in the funnel coming up, just the timeline thing. Some of you guys, though, you're like, well, I've got this big high ticket thing, or I got this, or I got that. Okay. And I'm not going to give a hard, fast rule on some of those things. Okay. Just don't be married to your offer. Don't be married to the products in the offer. It's about launching it. So the question you're trying to answer is, what do I need to have done in order to launch in 3 weeks? Okay. That's all you're trying to answer. And you might look through your offer and be like, all right, that means I got to go create. I definitely have to make that one. I definitely need this one done. This one could probably wait maybe a little bit. I need my focus and my time, my priority on these two things. And then what we're going to do in one funnel away challenge. Like, cool, done. Okay. So just know that this is hardcore rough draft funnel. Offer. You haven't even launched it to anybody yet. You don't even know if the market has voted on your thing yes yet, right? And because of that, you really need to make sure that you've got the correct things kind of down the pipeline, that you're actually working on the correct things down the way. So anyway, so the funnel we're going to be making here in the future is the SLO. So someone said, what about coaching? Should we even consider that at this point? Yeah. So if you're building the coaching thing, right, what we're specifically building with you guys in this challenge is what's called a self-liquidating offer. It is a low ticket funnel that we are helping you guys get out the door that will merely get you a little cash and leads. That is the focus and the aim of One Funnel Away Challenge. So you'll be able to go in and actually get traffic coming in, and you'll have leads and sales coming in for your specific thing. Okay. The scope of this challenge is that, because if you can do that, and the rest of the funnels are easy. Okay. It's not to say this one's hard, but if you can do that, you know all the major fundamentals, you know all the principles needed, you know all the things needed in order to do everything else. So I know a lot of you guys, you have like this scenario, that scenario, this scenario, that scenario. Start going in and understand that that's the major focus of the funnel we'll be building in the coming weeks. So awesome, guys. I'm excited about this. Just again, make sure that you're not going in and marrying the product. That's the major key I'm trying to help you guys understand. You need to start creating certain things inside of your offer that you can see need to be created, right? You know your market more than I'm going to know your market. You're going to know who you're selling more than I'm going to be able to tell you. And there's several hundred people on here right now. What I'm saying is, there's several hundred scenarios. And so take it as a framework and know, like, okay, well, looks like it's going to be the hardest one in my offer to go create. Start making it, right? This one looks like it should be made by somebody else. Go find a VA and get them to do it right now, right? This one looks like I got to do this piece and then I can hand it off to somebody else. This one looks like it needs an ebook cover. Excuse me. This one looks like it needs an ebook cover. This one looks, right? But if you're an affiliate, if you're still an affiliate, you are still making an offer. Okay. That is what makes you a powerful affiliate. It is no different. It is no different. Just one of the things in your offer is the other person's product. Okay. You're still making an offer. If you're a coaching, okay, you're still making an offer. If you're doing info, you still have an offer. I don't care what you're selling. This topic drives me nuts. It doesn't matter. You always have an offer regardless of price point, regardless of industry, regardless of what you're doing. And my face is going to get red and I'm going to yell a lot. Hear me, people. You will make an offer regardless of what is getting you money. I feel like we should end there. You know what to do.